back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about a question that I get asked a lot, and that is, why am I a vegan? So I'm going to talk a little bit about what being a vegan is, why I personally became a vegan, and my story along the veganism track. So let's get started. So what is a vegan? A vegan is someone who doesn't eat animal products of any kind. So that can be meat, fish, dairy, eggs, you name it, anything like that we do not eat. And there are various other products that we don't eat as well. So this can be things like honey, gelatin, which is obviously derived from meat or animal products. And also there's products that we use that you wouldn't necessarily think were not vegan, but they're not, and we buy vegan alternatives. So things like lip balm. This is my Crazy Rumours lip balm, and it's raspberry sherbet, and it's from Holland and Barrett. So basically, I became a vegan in January. I wanted to become a vegan before that, but I didn't quite really have the dedication right then. But also, I was in a really tough situation myself with money. I wasn't basically being able to afford it, and I just didn't have the time to really sort of make myself dedicated to it. So I decided that I would wait. In January I then decided, right, that's it, I'm going vegan, and I joined Veganuary, which is basically Vegan January. It's a campaign that they have, and ever since then I've carried on with it. For me, going vegan was something that I wanted to do because of the animals, not because of health, because I think a lot of people do it because of the health benefits, but I think that you actually need to look into the basically where your food comes from. So things like the dairy factories, things like the meat industry and all that, you need to look into it to sort of understand where the thinking behind becoming a vegan comes from. So for me, it was basically the dairy. I ate quite a lot of dairy, but I didn't eat a lot of meat. And when finding out things like how my milk was basically from the farm, factory to the shop, I was horrified. And from then on I was like, I'm not having dairy, I'm not having anything like that. So yeah, I have a lot of reasons, personal reasons, why I wanted to go vegan. I couldn't really put it into full swing until January though, and I'm so glad that I did. So now I've actually been vegan for nearly 3 months. Yes, nearly 3 months, and I can honestly say I've never felt better in my life. The only thing that I really miss is cheese, but that's purely because I also do Slimming World, as you can see, and healthy extras are part of basically the diet, and there is no vegan cheese that is a healthy extra option, so I have a lot of soya milk instead. Which, to be honest, I don't mind. I think that cheese was one of my downfalls, so I don't mind not having the cheese. It sort of helps restrict me a little bit more and be a little bit more sort of good to myself. Basically, with Slimming World and being a vegan, it can be hard sometimes. Like, you do need to sort of look into what you can and can't have. There's a lot more fresh produce, so things like fruit and vegetables. There's a lot of grains and pulses and meat replacements such as tofu, Linda McCartney, things like that. But to be honest, it's cheaper. Slimming World has been known to be one of the most expensive diets to be on. Yes, it works, but it can cost a hell of a lot. And being a vegan, I find that actually it doesn't cost as much because you're not buying things like your cooked meat, your raw meat, your yogurts, your milk, your eggs. You're not buying all that rubbish. Well, I say rubbish, but rubbish to me. You're buying wholesome, pure food, which will keep you fuller for longer, but also increase your weight loss. I've been on Slimming World for 10 weeks now and I've lost nearly 3 stone. I'm half a pound away from my 3 stone. So it's been a couple of days since I weighed in, so I'm probably going to say I'm now 3 stone lighter in 10 weeks. And originally when I was on Slimming World eating a lot of meat, because there's a lot of meat that you can eat, so you can eat things like chicken, you can eat pork, you can eat lamb, you can eat mince meat that's 5% fat. There's loads of things like that you can eat, but it's still not it's still got quite a lot of fat in it anyway. So I eat quite a lot of plant-based stuff, so I'm eating a ton more speed than possibly what another person would be. So yeah, I guess that's a plus side to being a vegan. There are some downsides, like you don't necessarily get all the nutrients you need. Sometimes you need to eat a lot of dark green vegetables and things like that. And just to make sure that I don't ever sort of miss any nutrients, I do have basically these are supplements. You don't need to take these, I just do just to be safe. And these are vitamin B complex and B12. So that's something that really does lack in a vegan diet, is B12. Normally they add it into soya milk and things like that, but just in case, I do like to have my own little pot. And then also I have this, which is a vegan multivitamin and mineral, also from Holland and Barrett. And this has vitamin A, D, E, C, vitamin B1, B2. It's also got loads of other ones, vitamin B6, B12, folic acid. Calcium is a really key one because you're not getting your calcium from your milk and your yogurt, so they do add it in, but it's always sort of a good idea to maybe keep one of these around. And these I normally get when you can buy them on the penny sale, because then you get an extra one for a penny, which is quite good. What else about being a vegan? I'm not a vegan weirdo. I mean, yes, I'm very passionate about things like animal welfare and the treatment of animals and things like that, but I'm not going as far as standing outside on a road with a sign, partially because I know that that's some people's thing. It's not my thing personally. Yes, it's in the back of my mind, and yes, I will sign various petitions and things like that, but for me, I don't feel right doing that. In some respects, I think that yes, it can change people's minds, but also I think it's something that you really need to feel very strongly about and be a very strong person, because most of the time they go where cattle are being carted off to slaughterhouses, and I don't think I could cope with that, but good on for the people that do. Also, I'm not someone who is crazy about products being vegan, in the sense of, let's say, makeup. At the moment, because I've recently transitioned to being a vegan, any makeup that I do buy from now on is vegan. But if I have makeup such as this right here, I don't think Maybelline is vegan, but I'm not gonna throw it away. I've already bought it. I will just not buy more of it, and I will find a vegan friendly alternative. This can also be said for my foundation, which I cannot find. I wear, wait a second, here it is. I wear Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I know that Estee Lauder test on animals. So I've actually found a different one that's a little bit like Estee Lauder, but is obviously vegan friendly. Because obviously I had a full tub when I basically went vegan, so I wasn't going to waste it, because these are £31 a bottle. So yeah, I'm very much one for use what you have, don't waste it. Just when you update and replenish, then obviously get a vegan alternative for you. So yeah, I think that being a vegan has changed me as a person as well. Like, I'm much more aware of where my food comes from. I think my generation especially just don't think about where their food comes from. They just see it being put on a plate to them, and don't think, wait 1 second, this used to be an animal. But also, I have a love for animals, and when I found how distressed and how their living conditions were so poor, it made me upset, and it made me just think about, I wouldn't like to be treated that way. Why should they? And also, what people do say is animals don't have feelings. They do. I've seen dogs cry. I've seen cats absolutely heartbroken when they've lost their companion. They fall in love. Like, they do exactly the same as us. Just because they can't speak our language doesn't mean that they are any less than us. So yeah, basically that's why I really became a vegan and things like that. When finding vegan products, it can be hard, but you are bound to always find something on the internet that will help you. If you search in a product, like staple for vegans, Oreos, ignore the extortionate price on the box of $1.69 for Oreos. When I first was looking for biscuits, I went along and typed in the biscuits into Google and put, are they vegan? And it literally came up with a basically yes, no answer. But also you can look in the ingredients yourself and you can see whether they are or not. And I think once you start learning more about what you can and can't have, you become more confident, which is definitely something. But yeah, if you want to become a vegan, then obviously you can message me, but also I will put some various links down below on information about becoming a vegan. But also there are so many help groups out there, especially on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, you name it. It is actually really easy to go vegan. At the beginning it's harder, but you will get the hang of it, I promise. So yeah, that's basically my vegan trip. Whoop whoop. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate that you come onto my channel and listen to me ramble a lot of the time. But that's what I'm sort of good at doing, rambling and talking rubbish and being able to help other people. So that's what I'm aiming to do and educate the world. I'm a bit crazy as well, as you'll probably get to know. But thank you so much for watching, guys. If you really did like this video, then please give it a massive thumbs up below. And also, if you want to watch more, then subscribe, which is also down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Mwah. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you really like this video, please give it a massive thumbs up. And also, if you want to watch more videos like this, then please subscribe down below. It will make me a very happy person. Thank you. Bye.